Today I'm going to show you how to crochet a minion hat pattern. So we're going to start with the yarn yellow, blue, brown, black, gray, and white, a 5mm crochet hook, yarn needle, and scissors. Let's begin with the eyes. So you're going to make a magic ring by just wrapping the yarn around your hand like this. Grab your hook, put it under the first piece over the next, and pull up a loop. Carefully pick up your working yarn and then make a chain 1. We're going to work a half double crochet into the magic ring, being careful to work around both pieces of the yarn. And just in case any of these steps are going too quickly, have a look in the description below where I've linked every stitch that I'm using in this pattern, so that if you need help with any of them, you can watch a stitch tutorial for that specific stitch where I take time and break it down. Go ahead and pull the magic ring closed, find that little chain 1 space there, and you're going to close with a slip stitch. As you can see, I've started with the black yarn. This is the center of the minion's eye. Now you're going to carefully just open it up, make sure all the stitches are visible, close that little loop well, and then grab your scissors and you're just going to fasten off the black yarn here. Okay, we're now going to go ahead and attach our brown. So just make a starting loop with the brown yarn. And keeping your hook through the black piece that you ended with, go ahead and put the brown on and pull it through that loop to connect it, and then make a chain 2. All right, now we're going to work into each stitch around. I know it's hard to see with dark yarn, I apologize. We're going to work 2 half double crochets into each stitch around. Okay, so you can see that stitch there. I know it's a little hard to see, but you're going to work. So that's 1 half double crochet into that first stitch, and going in the very same one, we're going to work another half double crochet. And you're going to continue on doing that all the way around. And by the time that you get around to the start, you should have a total of 10 half double crochets, because we started off with 5 stitches in that magic ring, and right now we're working 2 half double crochets into every single one of those stitches all the way around. So by the time you get to the end here, you should have 10 half double crochet stitches. Just keep going ahead and working those. All right. And now here we are approaching the beginning of our work, and you look for that chain 2 space. We're going to close with a slip stitch in the top of that chain 2 space. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and get ready to connect our white yarn. So just fasten off with your scissors the brown that you just finished working with. Go ahead and pick up your white yarn, make your starting loop. All right, go ahead and get that onto your hook. Just pull it through the loop there to attach it, and then you're going to go ahead and work a chain 2 to begin this next round. And now working with, I'm just going to tighten up a little bit here. So we're going to work with 2 half double crochets in that first stitch there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do another one right in that same stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in the following stitch. Okay, work 1 half double crochet in that following stitch. Now in the next one, we're going to work 2 half double crochets in that next one. And then we're going to work 1 half double crochet in the stitch after that. And you're going to continue on repeating this all the way around till you get to the start, close with a slip stitch, come back. All right, so now that you're back to the beginning, they're going to chain 2 for this next round. We're going to work 2 half double crochet into that very first stitch at the beginning. Okay, and we're going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the following 2 stitches, and then we're going to work 2 half double crochets in the stitch after that. And you're going to go ahead and continue all the way around, repeating this alternating pattern of 2 half double crochets, then 1 into each of the following stitches. 2 half double crochets in the next one, 1 into each of the following, all the way around till you get to the start. Close with a slip stitch and then come back. All right, so now we're going to fasten off that white yarn. I just did that right now off camera, I apologize. And I'm going to go ahead and attach my gray yarn. So go ahead and get that gray yarn attached, pull it through that loop to get it hooked up to that last white loop that you left off on. Chain 2, and we're going to go ahead and increase another round here. So we are going to do 2 half double crochets into that very first stitch at the beginning of our round here. So we're going to work 2 half double crochets into this stitch. Okay, 1 half double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches. So you're just going to go ahead and continue alternating this pattern all the way around. So doing 2 again in the next one, 1 into each of the following 3, and you're going to continue that all the way around. All right, so now we're at the next round. We're going to chain 2 and start with 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, 1 half double crochet into each of the following 4 stitches. So now you're going to continue on like this. This will be the last round of this eyeball. When you get to the end of this, you're going to close with your slip stitch, fasten off, and then you're going to repeat the same steps as what we just did right now for the second eye. And then we're going to move on to the hat. So you can go ahead, do that, pause the video, and then come back after you've finished making both of the eyes. All right, so now starting with your yellow yarn, you're going to make your magic ring again. This is going to be for the hat. We're going to be beginning with working on the crown of the hat, the very top. So go ahead and start your magic ring and chain 1. We're going to work 5 half double crochets right into our magic ring. Of course, being very careful to be working over both pieces of the yarn in the magic ring, because when we pull it closed, we need that little short bit. All right, so go ahead and carefully pull that closed. Okay, and then you are going to find your little chain 1 space there from the beginning, and you're going to close with a slip stitch. All right, so find that little chain 1 there, and go ahead and push your hook in to close with a slip stitch. Okay, and now you're going to do a chain. So now you're going to do a chain 1 to start the next round. We're going to work 2 half double crochets into each stitch all the way around. So just go ahead and work 2 half double crochets into every single stitch all the way around. And by the time that you get to back around to the beginning, you should have a total of 10 stitches. All right, so go ahead and work your 2 half double crochet every single stitch all the way around. Now you're going to close with a slip stitch to close this round, and you're closing that slip stitch in the chain 1 space. Okay, and now we're going to chain 1 to begin the next round. We're going to work 2 half double crochets into the first stitch and 1 half double crochet into the following stitch, 2 into the one after that, and 1 into the following stitch. And you're just going to go ahead and continue on repeating this all the way around. Close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and come back. Okay, so now we're going to start the next round with 2 half double crochet in that very first stitch, 1 half double crochet into each of the following 2 stitches. So 2 in that first one, 1 into each of the following 2 stitches. And then you're going to go ahead, continue that all the way around until you get to the start here. You're going to close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and come back. All right, so now you're going to start the next round with your chain 1. We're going to work 2 half double crochets into the first stitch, and we're going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches. And then you're going to go ahead and continue that all the way around, alternating until you get right up here to the start, close of the slip stitch, chain 1. So now we're going to chain 1 for the next round, 2 half double crochet into that very first stitch, 1 half double crochet into each of the following 4 stitches. Three, 4. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and continue all the way around, doing 2 and then 1 in each of the following 4. Close of the slip stitch, come back. All right, so now chain 1 and half double crochet in the very first stitch, 1 half double crochet into each of the following 5 stitches. Okay, and you're going to continue alternating this all the way around, doing your 2 half double crochet into that following one, and then 1 into each of the following 5 stitches after that. So you're going to continue on repeating this alternating pattern all the way around till you get back to the start. Just like the last few that we've been doing, we're just continuing to increase, and we're working on the crown of the hat right now. Okay, so you're going to keep on going. When you get to the start, close of the slip stitch. All right, let's chain 1 and begin the next round. 2 half double crochet into that very first stitch of the round, and then we're going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the following 6 stitches. The reason I keep repeating that this is the crown of the hat is because if you wanted to work on any size other than toddler or a standard child size hat, you can refer to the size chart. I've actually linked it in the description below, so that you can take measurements as you go along working on this hat if you wanted to make any other size for like a baby or an adult size. So go ahead, keep on alternating this all the way around, close of the slip stitch, come back. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and work our 2 half double crochet in the very first stitch and 1 half double crochet into each of the following 7 stitches. Okay, 2 in the next, 1 in each of the following 7. Close of the slip stitch when you get to the start. All right, now we're going to do our 2 half double crochet in the very first stitch here, 1 half double crochet into each of the following 8 stitches. Now this round is where you're going to want to stop after this round with these increases if you're working on a toddler sized hat. Okay, so this round of increases is where you're continue around, close the slip stitch. This next one is going to be only if you're working on a standard child size. Okay, if you're working on, and you're going to do your 2 half double crochet in the very first stitch, and you're going to do your 1 half double crochet into each of the following 9 stitches. Okay, now if you're working on a standard child size, because we need to do this one more extra increase round to get the right crown measurement for our hat. If you're working on a toddler size, you will not be doing this current increasing round with the 2 and the 9, 2 and the 9. You're not going to do this one. You're going to stop and hold on for a minute until I get to the next step of the pattern. Okay, so continue around, close of the slip stitch, come back. So now that we have finished with our increasing, okay, we're going to grab our scissors, fasten off. We're going to go ahead, you can pull that right through if you'd like to. I know some people like to attach their yarn different. I've done it different with the eyes, and I'm showing you here another way just to accommodate everyone who does it whatever way. It doesn't really make a difference. You can pull it right through and then just reattach your hook. It's not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and grab our black yarn now, and we're going to make a starting loop so that we can go ahead and attach our black yarn for that little band where is going to be behind our adorable goggle eyes. Okay, so get that black yarn on the hook and pull it through the yellow loop to attach it. And we're going to go ahead and chain 1. So we're now going to work 1/2 double crochet into every single stitch all the way around. Just 1/2 double crochet into every single stitch all the way around. You're going to close with a slip stitch at the end of this round, and you're going to chain 1 to start the next round. You're going to go ahead and work these rounds for 4 total, and then come back. All right, so now that you've finished your 4 rounds with your black, we're going to go ahead and fasten this off because we need to now reattach the yellow. Okay, so just go ahead and fasten off that black yarn, get your hook back in there. All right, and grab your yellow yarn and make another starting loop so that you can go ahead and hook it onto your hook here. So right now is where you're going to be finishing off the hat height. So we're going to go ahead and just get that yellow on there, chain 1, and you're going to continue on working 1/2 double crochet into every single stitch all the way around. For a toddler and a child size, you're going to work a total of 5 rounds with this yellow reattached yarn, working 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way around, closing every single round with a slip stitch, and starting each round with a chain 1. If you're making a different size hat, just refer to the size chart that I've mentioned that I've linked in the description below for the hat height requirement that you need, and just do it less 1 inch. Okay, so go ahead and continue on working on your rows. As I said, it's 5 rows if you're following a toddler or a child size. Okay, so go ahead and work on that and then come back when you're finished those rows. So now you're going to go ahead and pull up a little bit of a tail end there. We're going to fasten this off and just pull the rest of that yarn through. And we're now going to begin on the ear flaps. So working from this back seam here, you're going to count 9 stitches. Okay, and you're going to go ahead and push your hook into that 9th stitch. Have a look, make sure the positioning is where you'd want it to be. We are about to go ahead and add our yellow yarn back. So go ahead and get that onto the hook. Okay, pull that through and chain 1. Working into that very same stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. So you're going to push your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So you're just going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet into 12 stitches total. So you're doing a single crochet in that same stitch that you attached the yarn, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet into each of the following 11. So you should have a total of 12 stitches in this very bottom row of the ear flap. Okay, so now that you've gotten to the end there, chain 1 and turn your work. And we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each of those same 12 stitches, just working right back down those same 12 stitches, 1 single crochet into each of them. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. All right, so now we're going to work a single crochet decrease. So push your hook in, pull up a loop, go into the very next stitch, push your hook in, pull up another loop. So now we're making these 2 first stitches 1. So yarn over, pull through all 3. That's a single crochet decrease. Now you're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the following 8 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to finish this row with another single crochet decrease. Okay, chain 1 and turn your work. We're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch. By the end of this row, you should have a total of 10 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5. And just going into the last one there, chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to do another single crochet decrease at the beginning of this row. So push your hook into that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, go right into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. 1 single crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to finish the row with another single crochet decrease. Chain 1 and turn your work. And now you're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch down this row. By the time you get to the end of this row, you should have a total of 8 stitches. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 1 and turn your work. Start this row with a single crochet decrease. All right. And then single crochet once into each of the following 4 stitches. Finish the row with a single crochet decrease. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now you're going to single crochet 1 time into each stitch all the way down your row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1 and turn your work. We're going to start this row with our single crochet decrease. Single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Single crochet decrease. Chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're just going to single crochet decrease twice. Okay. And you can see that your ear flap has taken nice shape there. Go ahead and pull up a bit of a tail end and grab your scissors to fasten off. Just pull that little bit through. And now you're just going to go ahead, flip it around, make sure it lines up nicely, have a look at it, and then double check the other side, count to your 9th stitch. Okay, and push your hook through to hold on to that space so it gives you a chance to grab your yellow yarn, and just repeat those steps again for this other ear flap and then come back. So now that you're done that second ear flap, we don't need to fasten it off, just chain 1, and then you're going to go ahead and single crochet evenly all the way around the entire hat to give it a nice clean edge finish. If you did fasten off, don't worry about it, just reattach the yellow yarn and go ahead and work 1 single crochet evenly all the way around, close the slip stitch, come back. All right, now you can fasten that off, and we're going to go ahead and attach our blue yarn. Okay, so go ahead and get that blue yarn on the hook there, pull it through, chain 1, and now you're just going to go ahead and single crochet into every single stitch all the way around, and you're going to close with a slip stitch and chain 1 and do another round. So with the blue, you're going to do 2 rounds of working 1 single crochet into every single stitch all the way around for 2 rounds total. Of course, you're going to close with slip stitch chain 1. So go ahead and do 2 rounds and come back. Okay, so now that you're done that, we're going to go ahead and grab some, you're going to cut even strips of the blue and yellow and black if you want to too, or whatever. I just did blue and yellow. And you're going to cut some even strips of it and cut it to about 42 inches long, because then we're going to fold it in half like this. And I did 6, so I did 3 of each color. So fold it in half, use your yarn hook to pull it through halfway at the bottom of the ear flap there, just folding it. And then if any doesn't come through like this one, just go ahead and find it and pull it through, whatever. Just make sure they all get through and that it's like halfway through your super long strands, because you're going to pull it halfway through like this, how I did. And then we're going to fold it over and braid it at the bottom of the ear flaps. So just go ahead and get that nice and evened out, and then separate the strands evenly. Okay. There you go. All right, and you're just going to go ahead and braid it. And this is how you just kind of hold it and go over the right side over the middle, left side over the middle, right side over the middle, left side over the middle, all the way down to the very bottom, and tie it into a knot. And then repeat the steps for the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our eyeballs. So just position them how you're going to want them to go. You could see your minion hat really taking shape now, and it's starting to look like a little adorable minion. Just use your yarn needle here, and you've got these tail ends all over the place in the back, so you could just use that. That's what I do. I just use the yarn that's dangling off the back because you've got all the colors there, so you can literally just use your yarn needle to sew the eyes onto the front of the hat over the band. And just make sure that whatever part that you're sewing, that you're using the same color yarn as that area that you are sewing. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and attach the eyes and then come back. Now for the mouth, just grab a piece of the black yarn, give yourself a little bit of length, you don't need too much, and then go ahead and thread your yarn needle with your black yarn, and you're just going to randomly sew it onto the mask just to give him a little look of a mouth. Now a little trick, I like to tie a knot into the bottom without fully closing it. I'm not a sewer. This is just a little thing I do for myself. I don't know, maybe you have a better way of doing it, but here's how I like to get it started, to just kind of push it through and knot it into the little loop. And so just pull that through carefully. And then you can check the bottom there, push your yarn needle through maybe like 1 stitch over just to get it into that loop. See how I got it in the little loop there? That's just how I like to secure it. Go ahead and pull that, give it a little tug, make it nice and snug. And then it even looks cute just like that. I'm going to make mine a little bit longer. And then you're just going to use your yarn needle, just kind of find where you're going to want it to go, but do it in little small stitches so that it really is nice and secure. And I just back stitch it. So I'll go up a couple, push it up through, and then back stitch it to where the last stitch was. And that's how I find the way to make it the most secure. And I'm just going to make mine just a little bit longer. So go ahead and stitch the mouth on however you like, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've got the mouth on there however you want it, you can go ahead and just cut some little shorter, even lengths of the black yarn. It doesn't really matter how long they are. You just want little short bits, but long enough that you can tie, because we're going to do the hair. So just cut, it doesn't really matter, however many you want, a few strips. Just make sure that they're all being cut evenly as best as you can. And we're just going to go ahead and grab your crochet hook and put it just over to the side from the middle piece of the hat. and pull it right on through. And then poke your hook onto the other side of the middle piece and pull up the rest of it. So it's like folded in half on the inside of the hat and kind of poking out like this on the outside. Sorry, it wasn't a very good view for a sec. Just like this. And any of them that didn't quite make it through, just give it a tug and you can go and just add whatever pieces didn't make it through after. It doesn't really matter. There's no rhyme or reason. So you could just go ahead and push your hook back through and pull that in. If any didn't get through the first time, just go ahead and get those like somewhat secured and then pull the other through afterwards like this, how I'm doing it right now. Go ahead and get them all up there. So you've got them all up and ready to tie. So I wouldn't tie that like right around all of them at once like that. Do it like this where it's one at a time and double knot it so it's really secure. And just kind of fold them over. No real rhyme or reason. Just make sure that each strand is tied because you don't want it to just fall out. You can go on the sides of each other, over, across. Doesn't really matter, just as long as it looks like some scarcely placed hair, just like the minions have. So go ahead and tie all of those on. All right, and just kind of see how it falls. If you want to give it a little trim, just pull all the pieces together up on top. I'll show you. I like to trim mine just a little bit so it stands better. So just pull them all together and just grab your scissors and do a tiny little trim, little snip. And see, it sticks up a lot better that way when it's a bit shorter. And there you go. You've got your finished crochet minion hat. I hope you enjoyed this pattern. Please do like and subscribe and check out the links in the description below.